This last weekend, I literally spent $12,000 buying video games from game stores, including all of these games, 45 copies of Super Mario World, literally dozens of handhelds. I mean, for goodness sake, we've got handhelds that don't even exist. 6 PlayStation 4s, 14 copies of Adventure of Link, an actual trash bag full of PSVR stuff, and even more bins of games and accessories that I couldn't even fit in the other room. I mean, for goodness sake, that's a golden PS4 in there. And I almost never do videos on this channel of the selling side of my video game resale business, but I thought it'd be super interesting for this one to go through over the next week as I'm listing all of this stuff, split stuff up by category, see, for example, how much are these Pokemon DS games worth? How much is the PlayStation stuff worth? How much will the handhelds go for? So that you and I can determine together whether I'm actually expected to make a profit on this $12,000 worth of purchases, or whether I just got a little spend happy. Now, as you guys know, a lot of this stuff is going to end up getting sold on Amazon, but a lot of it actually, especially this GameCube stuff, is gonna get sold on Whatnot. So here's how this is going to work. I've got this little stack of Pokemon games right here, and I have no idea what I paid for each one of these individually. So what I'm gonna do, I've put Pokemon Guardian signs into my listing software here, and I'm just gonna enter the buy cost as $12,000. Look at that. FBA loss $11,900. This is the most expensive Pokemon Ranger someone has ever bought. And what that's going to do, as my label is printing out here, is essentially allow us to look at the negative profit as we go through batch by batch of games and see how it's gradually decreasing on hopefully up into the positives by the end of this video. Alright, so the Pokemon DS batch is done. Looks like it brought our expected net profit up to negative $11,075, which is great. Granted, honestly, that's a little bit ambitious. I do price my games really high at the start, expecting that they'll get repriced, but we'll factor that into the calculation at the end. Before I get into all the PlayStation stuff, what I need to know from you guys is, what is your prediction about the estimated net profit of this entire endeavor? Mine, personally, I would say if I end up with 8K on the 12K spent, I would be super happy. A 67% or so net profit would be excellent, but I've got a few days at least worth of work ahead of me before we figure that out. Here's a bit of a better look at the PlayStation stuff here. I took out a few titles that I thought were kind of representative. We've got a bunch of Resident Evil stuff in here, which was great. I think I got 6 copies of Resident Evil 2, which is always good. Those sell well on Amazon. A ton of copies of Spyro as well. Was able to get a solid deal on those. Only the complete ones were what I was picking up. And then you guys know I can never resist a good Disney PS1 game, so I've got a good number of those in here as well, and we'll see what this entire stack ends up being worth. Alright folks, so it probably took me a little bit over an hour to get all of the PS1 stuff listed, and as of now, we are already up to negative $8,500 in profit, which sounds weird to say, but is honestly pretty good. Alright folks, it is day number 2 of our 12K challenge, and I don't know about you, but I'm very curious about how much of that 12K we're going to be able to knock off with these 45 copies of Super Mario World. The nice thing about these is that so many of them are just in really nice, clean shape and won't require any prep at all, which definitely reduces my overall listing time. So I'm listing these guys for $39.99 a piece based on the current FBA competition. Will they actually sell for that? I have no idea. It depends on what other competition comes onto the market. We'll go ahead and put in our quantity of 40. It's actually 40, not 45. I just counted. And look at that. It brought our negative total up from 8,500 to 7,300. Oh yeah, folks, look at all that money. Would you guys have ever believed that this stack right here was $4,000 of expected after fees value? So I really want to get into the positives on our net profit as soon as possible. I think what I'm going to do next is our 6 PS4 consoles, and I'm actually, believe it or not, thinking about keeping one of the cheaper 500 gig old model ones, purely because Erica and I have been watching Attack on Titan recently, and I kind of want to play the game. I don't know, is that irrational to keep a console just just to play one game. I guess Kingdom Hearts 3 too, but if you guys have played Attack on Titan, let me know in the comments if that is actually worth it. I think for now I'm just gonna list 5. Well folks, I'm currently being reminded why I've almost stopped buying consoles because testing them makes me testy.
The creature is driven by rage.
So I have to be honest with you guys, my biggest fear with videos like these is that they'll end up being kind of boring. Because, I mean, look at me, I'm literally packing up 5 PS4 consoles right now to list on Amazon, and like they won't even be sold yet. I don't know, but I'm torn because at the same time I do feel like a periodic glimpse into the like selling aspect of the business rather than just the buying is kind of interesting. So you'll have to let me know in the comments whether you actually like videos like these that are a little bit more into like the back end of the business. So I've actually done this before. In the comments, give me a yeah or a nah, depending on whether or not you like these kinds of videos. This is the kind of video that would definitely normally be on my second channel, Renix P Sale, because pretty much all those videos are like behind the scenes kind of like seller aspect videos, which by the way, if that's the kind of thing that you're into and you haven't found it yet, definitely check that channel out. I'll try to remember to link it in the description of this one. Or also alternatively, if you just can't get enough of this lovely face in your life during the week. All right folks, so now 5 PS4 consoles have been tested, packed up, and listed, and our total expected net profit is all the way up to negative 5,800. This is honestly going a little bit slower than I anticipated, but luckily I have a little goblin helping me in the other room. The Spankster just taught him how to peel stickers off of games, so
I never knew how.
Been very helpful. All right, so I just brought in some of the stuff from the bin in the other room, and check out this big old PS2 section that we have to do next. I'm actually excited about that. I think that the most profitable section will probably actually be this one. Check out this insane stack of DS Lites. But I'm actually going to hold off on the handhelds till the end so that we get the biggest boost at that point. And we're gonna chug right along with all this PS2 stuff. As I'm destickering some of these games, I did want to talk a little bit about my strategy for bulk deals like this, because the reality is, if you want to have and build consistent connections like this, that you can buy literally, my last deal, $9,000 worth of games from someone, you have to establish yourself not only as someone who is generally like respectful and courteous, but as someone who pays well. And you'll definitely see people in my comments saying all kinds of stuff about he underpaid for this deal or for that bin or blah, 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 blah. People really like to talk, but what I always ensure, no matter who I'm dealing with, is that they're really happy with the deal that we're doing. All right, folks, boom. Just like that, it's day 3, and all of the PlayStation games are done, or the PlayStation 2 at least. Got halfway through the batch last night, and then Erica got home, and you know I had to go sit on the couch, watch some Ozark, and play some Pokemon Arceus for the rest of the night. I was conked out. But check this out, folks, negative $3,300. Let's go, baby. Just got my little PSP stack listed as well, and we're up to negative 2,800. Listed all my Wii games, and we're up to negative 2,300.
Phoenix Resale just said those Wii games are worth $400, but I just looked them up on eBay, and they're only worth $300. He's a liar. He probably doesn't make anything resell.
First of all, Hater Hank, you can suck a lemon. Second of all, eBay is different than Amazon. And fourth, yes, a lot of this stuff will be repriced, and we'll factor that in at the end of the video. All right, just did this other miscellaneous stack of PS2 stuff here, and we're up to negative 1,700. I am starting very slowly to feel really good about the rest of the stuff that we have unlisted over here. I'm feeling more and more optimistic because I think that this pile right here is just gonna be so much money. All right, folks, so I'm in the middle. I just listed a ton of Xbox 360 games here. I finished up the PS2 stuff, got a little stack over here as well, and with these 2 games officially, when I press add to batch, we should be... There it is, folks. Net profit, $4.31. And we've still got all the stuff back here to go. Man, I swear, I never thought that I would be so excited for a $4 profit, but after 3 days of listing work, I have to say it feels pretty good. Now, you may be watching this and thinking to yourself, man, Caleb, this listing process seems pretty quick. Why in the world are you filming this over the course of, you know, multiple days? Why is it taking so long? And the reason is, what you don't realize is that off camera, every single one of these games that came from a game store, or most of them at least, needs to be de-stickered. They've all got price tags on them, and an Amazon buyer isn't going to want to see $45 on a game that I'm charging like 80 bucks for.
Oh, I like money.
So honestly, even though the listing process is fairly efficient, it's the prepping, it's the console testing, it's the packing, it's the putting every single cartridge-based game into a poly bag and stickering it that just, it really does. It takes a lot of time, especially when you're doing hundreds and hundreds of them. All right, folks, so I just got done listing a whole bunch of like miscellaneous accessories like, you know, network adapters and expansion packs and move controllers and all that goodness. I think we're at like $3,000 something profit. And I came on over to this air fryer box with a trash bag full of PSVR stuff. And this is the best part of going through, like, especially when you buy collections and stuff like that. I pulled out this, what's called a PSVR aim controller. Never sold one of these before, so I went ahead and looked it up on Amazon, and check this out. The lowest FBA listing is $115, and the lowest listing in general, even if it sold worst case, is $62. I think I paid maybe like $125 or something for this bin. It's all untested. I don't know if a whole VR system is in here, so it was a little bit of a gamble, but it seems like it's gonna pay off much better than I thought. All right, so check this out, folks. I've been listing like a madman. So far, we're at $4,600 in the positive, unexpected net profit. Now, the things that we have left are a few stacks, big stacks by the way, of GameCube games and all of these handhelds. Now, the GameCube stuff I'm actually not going to be listing in this video because a lot of it is going to end up on Whatnot in my Whatnot auctions that I mentioned earlier, but I'm just gonna guesstimate around $20 a piece in average value for each game here. Some of them, right, like Robots, that's like a $10 game, but a lot of them, like these Mario Karts, are, you know, like 70 plus. So I think that's a pretty conservative estimate for our overall total, which means that the last thing I have to do for this video is these handhelds, and I'm gonna go ahead and get that done. Alrighty folks, so I'm in different clothes, but it's technically still day 3, or day 4, whatever it currently is in the progression, I forget. Erica and I went out to a nice dinner, came back, got into my cozies, but I am still hustling, folks. It is 11 o'clock and I just got the batch done. You can probably tell I'm whispering a little bit right now because Erica's in bed, but check this out. We have everything from the $12,000 haul listed. Well, almost everything. The GameCube games are still over there. But folks, that means it is finally time for the big reveal of the numbers of all of this week plus worth of work of sourcing and listing and getting all this stuff stacked up. Check this out. In the listing software, we've got an expected net profit of $9,451 with a buy cost of $12,000, which I am super stoked about, but it does not factor in the GameCube games back there, which, as I was looking at them, I decided that $20 a piece might be a little bit generous. I always try to be conservative in these estimations, so I actually ended up factoring only $15 a piece for these bad boys, which, when I calculated it, ended up being an extra $1,965, leaving us with a total of $11,416 in expected net profit. But folks, remember, it does not stop there, because when I told you guys earlier that I still have to factor in repricing, what I meant was I have a repricing software on Amazon that automatically reprices all of my inventory relative to other listings that come onto the platform. And I found that in general, stuff tends to get repriced down around an average of maybe 10 to 15% because I price stuff from the outset pretty aggressively, which means for all this stuff here, we paid $12,000. Our expected net profit is $11,000. So we're looking at $23,000 worth of expected value of games. We've got to take 15% of that and knock it off to get a clean estimate, which officially leaves us with a grand total expected net profit of, Riff, can I get a freaking drum roll, please? $9,600. $704, which is pretty dang close to my expectation of 8K. And honestly, I'm super happy with that figure, even though we're not doubling up. Keep in mind, we bought all this stuff from video game stores this week, so for a wholesale deal, that margin is incredible. Folks, let me know if you like these kinds of videos, please, in the comments, and do me a favor, check out this Renix P-Sale video right down here. I think you'll like it as well if you like this one. And until next time, folks, I'll catch you on the flip.